Hey everybody, look what we got going on here. Using the battery. I got it plugged into the charger right now. It's charging away. Driving the new improved room corp setup. Still having some trouble with stability to getting it to stay at a constant frequency. Dual capacitors in parallel with the gap. I'm able to get my resistance way up now to where I can drive this thing a lot easier without having to use so much current and so much sloppy vibrating. Secondary gap firing away is normal. Third gap is firing off the secondary of the Whedon. Yeah, we got some radiation here, not bad at all. Got plenty of plasma. It's a little tingly now. Anyway, we come over here and we want to look at the old Yaesu here on 40 meter band. It's really bleeding through almost everywhere, so I don't have to tune it hardly at all. You can hear that there spark gap transmitting going on. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to look at the Tbar. So I don't know if you can see it here, but there's one of the ground rods just a few feet in the ground. The other one's hooked to the transmitter over there off the secondary of the Whedon. That secondary gap there is arcing straight to ground with the pulses of it. So we've got the Tbar hooked up with the dual Tbar. Actually, there are two of them in series, and we have this small little top load here, antenna coming into the input there, which is going around the back there. That goes through, and it goes through a capacitor to ground, and then another capacitor through just a switch, and then the other Tbar section here, the older one, and then the coils here. So I've got my inductance and capacitance just set at arbitrary values right now. The ground wire here, this one is going to the ground rod outside. So the output of the ham tuner is going to ground through the tuner, and we're taking an oscilloscope reading off of the center of the secondary Tbar, which is the same contact point between the two capacitors and the selector switch there, which taps to the coils. So it's essentially the coil in use is in the center of the secondary Tbar to ground. And we're looking at the frequency over here that's coming off of it. Now, before I tune this, what does that look like? That looks like standing wave ratio to me. Reflection. Now, I'm going to tune this thing. I'm getting the picture here. Now, I'm going to tune this one and this one. This is the two big capacitors here and here. And my inductance is set on 6 here, which is actually just the smallest tap, I think, on this first coil here. And now, as you see, what happens when I start tuning it is I can bring this standing wave, I can bring the reflection down and get it to tune. I see it's still a little wobbly here, but I can fine tune it with the one on the left and get it to be a pretty straight signal. And right, there we go. Had a loose wire. 2 loose wires. There we go. So now you see we have the standing wave coming back, and I can tune it out. See, it gets real bad here with the primary tuner. I get it to the point where it's almost completely flat, and you can start to see the pulses come through. Now see, I'm going to add some more inductance here and get it to really smooth out. And you can see we're now picking up the pulses from the transmitter. Well, they're not very strong, so more tuning is in need. But that's essentially transmitting through the ground, through that antenna rod, coming from the transmitter antenna rod over there. So now we see how much power we can accumulate here.